What up, bro? I'm having all kind of glitches and delays, but I'm here. What up, everybody? This is State of Basketball. That's your man, Big Storm. This is the one, and this is another BW Sports production. Hey, bro, it's part two, man. Part one was electrifying, so
Yeah,
I'm
it
ready
was
for
great.
part two.
It was great. I wasn't able to get everyone on this week, but the one that we did, and hopefully we'll have another one here shortly, will definitely make up for it. I definitely like the vibe of it. I love the discussion, and can't wait to do it again, man.
Right. So it should be fun. I know we dove into the point guards. And we had some pretty good point guards on the show. I know we had a decent lineup for two guards today. We had some last minute cancellations. I did put out a last minute alert on the book to see if we can get some last minute entries. But still, I think we're going to have an electrifying show today. We'll get some good insights on two guards from a coaching perspective. And then this is a guy that we've known for a while. I've known since little shorts. You know what I'm saying? like the little shorts.
Yeah,
Like we
not
go
like
all the
they
way.
do now, where they choose to, but
Yeah,
what we
that's all
had
we
to wear.
had. That's all we had. That's all we had. And it was, and it was a boys' club, so it wasn't like the best pair of the little shorts. So
Yeah,
yeah,
this next guest, I grew up with as well as part of the North Central family. Definitely one of the guys we looked up to, being a couple of years younger. Looked up to and watched them play, and obviously tried to be as well or even better as them, as they set that bar for fellow Panthers and just fellow Hoopers on the North Side. Uh, so, do you want to bring them in, or are you ready
I
for
mean,
the?
we can bring old Coach E in. Oh, Mike
Man,
Evans from the way back. You know what I'm saying? Hey, bro, I ain't gonna lie. I got that team picture still. That
oh yeah,
Warriors team picture from Willard's Boys Club. It's in my
yeah,
photo album, man. That was a really good team.
yeah, man. That was the beginning.
Yeah, Robert Nunley.
Robert Nunley.
Yeah, so tell us what you've been up to, Mike. I know you've been busy last couple years, man.
Yeah, man. I kind of the last couple of years I transitioned from high school coaching, and last year was my first year here at Glen Oaks at the junior college that I actually graduated from and attended. And then the year prior to that, I was at Anderson University. So, just been blessed to continue to give back to the sport that allowed me to see the world, impact lives, and I mean, there's no better feeling than going to a job that you appreciate. So, been recruiting heavy coming to Indianapolis. I got to, I'm staying connected to the crib. So, it ain't no doubt about that. Don't nobody hoop better than we do. So, I'm going to put that out there.
Facts.
But that's it, man. Just doing that, man. Just trying to get better at my craft and, watch, young kids and older kids and just trying to, make my team better for next year.
Hey, so now we know that there is some junior Elliots that got the game. Now your son graduated last year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. I got to watch it. I know Big Store. We both got to watch him play a little bit. I did catch a couple games. And your daughter, she graduated this year, but she didn't hoop this year. She was a track star this year, wasn't
Yeah, so she played basketball her freshman, sophomore, junior year, and it just became she was kind of an anomaly, man. She never practiced basketball. She wasn't one that like, hey dad, let's go, go to the gym. And she was just like a natural. And then track was she's just phenomenal. Like there's really no other way to put it. She came in North Central her freshman year. She won 5 state medals. They won state. Her sophomore year, COVID happened. Her junior year, she won 4 medals. And then her senior year, they won state again, and she won 5 medals. And I was telling Big Storm, like, she's going to Florida University to run track. But the crazy thing is, man, if she would have played basketball, she would have got a Division I scholarship at basketball. They probably would have won state her freshman year. She got hurt her ankle. Her junior year, hurt her ankle. And it was just kind of to the point she was like, I'm just going to do this track thing because I don't want to go to school to play basketball. I'm going to go to school for track. So, she was just a good all-around athlete, man. And, I'm proud of her. And she set a national record of being the only boy or girl in the nation that has ever won the 1, the 2, and the 4. So, it's just she's 6 foot. So, I'm going to take credit for the height. Her mom was a track dude. Her mother ran track. I wasn't a track dude. I was, I did my thing. But, I'm proud of her. And Mike he's growing into his own. He's got my name and everybody, kind of talks to him about what I did. But I said, what is your time now? It's your time. I'll give you all the game that you need. I got the blueprint. Sometimes as boys and young men, you guys know we get a little stubborn and we don't want it. But, I give it to him anyway. And, as he gets older, he'll grasp onto it. But, yeah, my youngest, man, they went to North Central, man, because, from the legacy that I seen before me, from the impact I hope I had, from you guys to Jason and, James, God rest his soul, and then all those other guys, they wanted to be a part of that legacy, that I laid down when I was there. So
I tried, but we'd have played together. So, but I tried to let it down or to help out the North Central Legends League. But Kaufman didn't like me. Kaufman didn't like my friends. He didn't like my homies. You know what I'm saying? He told me, you'll never play here. So I went to LN and I gave NC the business every time I played.
Back then it was I think coaching was a little bit more kind of, there were guidelines, there was a lot more rails involved.
Structure, a lot of structure.
Yeah, which structure is okay, but I think the social part of the rails was like, well, I don't understand who he is. And I can't understand why he does or says things and so therefore there's like this image of you. Sometimes coaches that come from that old cloth back then, I don't like that image, so I don't have to deal with it. And it's it's changed a lot, I think, now. So,
they kept a lot of hoopers off the court.
Yeah, they did. I'm sure.
We got another one popping in. I see, Storm.
I see him, but I don't see the picture quite yet.
Like I see him. So, what we doing, Mike? We have started a summer series since NBA and pretty much college season is at a standstill. In the off season, draft, training camps, getting kids into school. I know your kids is probably on their way into school in the next couple of weeks to start their regiment. So we like to do a little series during the year or the summer break on different things. So this 5-part series, we're doing positions. We have point guards first week, first episode, second episode, we're doing 2 guards. So we'll get into breaking down what we think a 2 guard is, how the game evolution from what the 2 guard was from when we were growing up to how we changed the 2 guard position to what it is now, and then what we think is going to go to from here. But before we get into that, just to give you a food of thought for later on in the show,
okay,
we're going to need your top 5 shooting guards. Now, I'm going to have to ask Storm, are we going to go top 5 who you think is the top 5? Or is it your favorite top 5?
I say for this, let's go with your personal, because there'll be more context involved on hopefully why we chose the people that we chosen. And a lot of the things, and obviously one of the things, we'll delve into, like you said, was the evolution and what actually makes a 2 guard. Or is there a 2 guard, shooting guard, scoring guard? Are they all the same positions? Or are those all just fractions of the position? Like, there's a lot of good things to delve into.
That's why we're going to make that list later on. So I know you got a list in your head now. Now we're going to discuss the 2 guard position, and then at the end we'll figure out what our top 5 is because it might change. So real quick, Storm. I don't know if we're going to get to it, but they are doing the WNBA All-Star stuff today. They just finished it up. What was it? Team Wilson beat Team Stewart.
I saw like
They
the
won
very
that.
end of it. Yeah.
Yeah, so you had a couple of milestones hit there between that game. I do know that the WNBA finals will now be on charter flights, and they're adding a 40-game season to the WNBA. All of that was announced on during the All-Star stuff
All-Star
today. So shout out for the girls.
It's about time, man. It's about time. The women's game is definitely maturing. It's coming of age. So it's nice to see. Then to let our young girls know that they can do, they can do everything they can and still hopefully get to the point where they don't have to go overseas and play and get caught up or anything like that. So just keep going.
Yeah. One question though. I'm gonna this side note, and I'm gonna keep on moving. I don't see how you feel that you can't support a family of $221,000 a year, but anyway.
Right,
So
man. Inflation right now is real, son. You try to get a full tank of gas on an 09 Chevy Tahoe, and you're gonna need some money.
Listen, we got cats out here making $63,000 a year and getting by. Please tell me you can't get by on $221,000 a year. Please don't tell me that. But anyway, so 2-guard position. I lost my notes because I'm looking at pictures that Mackenzie just sent me in Dallas with both of her legs in those cryo compression.
What's wrong with? Is that just for after playing or?
No, man. She tweaked her ankle. She got her daddy ankle issues, man. And oh my God.
Unfortunately.
Yes, I'm trying to get her right, but all right. So 2-guard position. Now, first we start off with the name. You know what I'm saying? What is it? I mean, is it the 2-guard, the 2nd guard? Is it the shooting guard? Is it the scoring guard? You know what I'm saying? This is the off guard. How do you define that position starting from way back to ours to now, Mike?
I think, man, back in our era, the 2-guard his job was to score more than anything. He wasn't responsible for assists or rebounding. His job was to score. I think there's always a slash with that because you always had like people who could score and then people who could shoot. It kind of depended on who you play with, what team you're on, what kind of player you were. Those dynamics all fit into that category. Nowadays, me and Storm were talking earlier. It's like, I think now it's so positionless now, right? I don't know if anybody can say, okay, well, here are these positions. I think if I look at it now from my perspective, I look at it from size, right?
Yep. The skill level.
Size
I still feel like there's still there's some skills that are needed at the 2-guard more than any other position, even though that everyone now can possess those skills and those talents.
I agree with that wholeheartedly. I think there's one common denominator when you say shooting guard. Can you score? Can you score? Period. From can you shoot it? Can you drive? Can you create? I think that dynamic has never changed, and I don't think it ever will change.
I guess like where I guess the issue comes in, if there is an issue, is how you do your scoring, how they try to define the position. You know what I mean? Like when we played a 2-guard or a shooting guard, we called them scoring guards. You know what I mean? Because that's what your job was to do. Like they would always say, well, Jordan didn't pass the ball, Kobe didn't pass the ball. Well, it wasn't their job to pass the ball. I mean, their job was to score points. I get paid $60 million a game to score points. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it's a blessing that Kobe, is the only person with 30,000 points, and well, until LeBron does it here quickly, only person with 30,000 points and 5,000 assists. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, you know, I mean, they say he didn't pass the ball, but if you still had what was his career average? What, just under 6 assists a game?
Mm-hmm.
So I just think how you defined it as what you did. Like Clay, I mean, is he a small forward or is he a 2 guard? You know, but you look at him as a 2 guard because he shoots the ball. You know what I mean?
Right.
So as a shooter, a 2 guard. But what about the point guards that we talked about last week? You know, like Steph. You know what I'm saying? He's a shooter, but he plays the point guard position. So I guess it depends on what type of scorer you are.
Yeah, I look at Clay. Clay's a nice 3. He's a 3 because he's more that 3 position, which I'm pretty sure you guys will cover, is a little more athleticism than the 2. They're a little bit bigger than the 2. Typically, they're a little bit, you know, they're more considered the slasher. I mean, you know, like I said, it's such a blended situation now, you know. And again, I look at it as size and skill set almost just to separate the 2. You know, unless you just got, you know, you got T-Mac on the playing the 2 and, you know, he's doing this thing, or, you know, what do you consider LeBron? LeBron is whatever the hell he wants to be, honestly. So those it's crazy, man. It's
he's rare.
He's rare.
LeBron is like magic.
Yeah, I like he is the most all-around player that I've ever seen.
All right, we got to hold up because we finally got our other guest on, having some difficulties. This gentleman right here, I played with junior college, 1 year with him, which was crazy because we were in Texas, but it was like 5 Indiana guys on that squad. It was me, Leland Perry, Boot Patterson, Ahmed Bellany, and Jason Wheeler. But this was one of the 2 guards that I played with that I really enjoyed. I felt like our practices was epic. This gentleman, like we talked about before, can score on the jumper, can cut to the basket, can make plays. So, with no further ado, from my alma mater, Grayson County College, Mr. Sworn Lacey, welcome to the show.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Doing well. So, just to give you a little heads up, think about your top 5 shooting guards all time. Just keep it in your head. We're going to do it later. But you came in right at the point where we were talking about how the shooting guard position evolved over the years. So what are your thoughts on that from, you know, 60s, 70s, 80s and on, the dynamic of the particular position, the 2 guard, is it a scoring guard, or just straight up 2-man? What are your thoughts, Mr. Lacey?
Well, since the game done evolved, like you said, back in maybe the 70s, 80s, 90s, the 2 guard, all they were supposed to do was to put it in the hole. They really didn't have to do too much dribbling. They didn't have to be a skilled dribbler. As long as they could shoot or score, they was good. Now they don't have a position. There's not no set position. It's not no you're a 2 guard, you're a 1 guard. If a point. If you're a combo, if you can score, defend, you're gonna play. You know, and it's you know, especially with then they got position called point forward, point center. I'm like, so you know, so
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we talked about that point forward position last week with the point guards, because you had a couple guys that we watched play that were guys like that. Scottie Pippen was the first person that term was used, point forward. But I think Robert Horry was the guy who was doing it before Scottie, that just never got that term. They just hang out right there at the high post or the free throw line extended and just run the offense through there. You know what I mean? So you see a lot of those guys doing it.
I'm gonna give you another one, man. Oh, Charles Barkley was an innovator. He got the rebound and he wasn't doing a whole lot of passing now. You know what I mean? He going right to the bucket, but I agree, 100%. Like those guys were ahead of their time.
Oh, yeah.
So I guess now let's actually talk about some of these players. You know what I mean? I hate to use comparisons. or not want to say comparisons, because you can compare a little bit guard to guard, player to player, position to position. But I hate listing them as in greatest. I like lists like we do, like we'll do later on, is who we think our guys are. Because when you get to trying to who's the greatest, you get to taking them out of their eras. And you got guys who played in the 60s and the 70s that didn't get the exposure and the worldwide view of the game, of your skills with television, social media, and the development of the wide open spaces. You know what I mean? Like we talked about point guards, like just think of Pistol Pete and Bob Cousy, and those guys got to play with the free non-touching and the openness of the game. You know what I mean? Just like guys who score, like guys who put up 40 points and didn't shoot threes.
Right.
You know what I mean? All mid-range. So I hate to do that. So who are some great two guards that you would? Everybody knows Jordan, so he's
right. And just because he's the best, I feel like we shouldn't slight him. We could give him a couple of minutes because he is and to my opinion, he's the greatest of all time. So we can acknowledge him for a couple minutes, but I definitely do want to talk about maybe some more of your unsung or lesser heard, or ones you really didn't know but really put in work. If you go and look back at their careers.
I think if I speak on Jordan for a minute, I look and say, okay, what really stood out to me with him, for him, just, I mean, he's the GOAT. He's the best player that I've seen. I was a Magic fan growing up, passed the torch to MJ. MJ ran with it. The thing about MJ, man, that I thought was just that separates him in a class that's almost comparative to none is like his game evolved as a shooting guard, or as a two guard. I'll say shooting guard, we can define that later, but athleticism, he drove a lot, right? Then as you see him every year, his game was developed and it just went to another level, but he still scored. He went from the pull-up, post game, he showed that he could shoot the three. It was just like he evolved and he covered every aspect of scoring, which, you know, Swan mentioned earlier. It's like, hey, man, you got to put it in the basket. He did that his whole entire career, even when he was with the Wizards, and it was, you know, you could tell his skills were diminishing, but he always evolved with the game.
Definitely. And I
it
see
wasn't
Mike
his
as
skills, it was his body.
Yeah, his body.
I like the thing about Jordan, I feel like, is the dog, the want to, I'm gonna do whatever it takes. Yeah, he was a killer. He's that dog. And because of that, he wanted to develop his game, right? He's not out here with Lego sets. He ain't out here doing everything else cats is doing nowadays. He's in that gym. Mm-hmm. He's doing like he treated it as a career. I'm gonna be the best in my career. For me to do this, these are the things I need to do. Mm-hmm. I felt like he came along at a time and helped the NBA go to that next level, which was worldwide. I feel like he was instrumental in a part of that. And a lot of that was the athleticism, the moves that he made, the dunks, and of course the air, right? He claimed the air. Like no one else is air, nothing. It's Jordan, Air Jordan. So I'll give him that. He wasn't personally my favorite, even though he's the GOAT. I was like you, Mike. I'm Magic all the way. For you guys that play with me, I think you can see that in my game. Definitely that Magic was my guy. But, yeah, that's what I got to say about Jordan.
Yeah, I mean, there's only two cats that I've watched play that had that type of work, that type of drive, that type of determination that I will not be beat. I will not lose. I will never fall. I will always be there. And that was Jordan and Kobe. You know what I mean? I don't think I went for Mike and not near one of those 6 championships. I think I went for everybody else. You know, I know I went for Sean Kemp. 100%. No, I was on Seattle.
It would have been nice for him to win one, though. They had a squad.
Man. But I mean, I never went, but I acknowledged what Jordan did for the game. You know what I'm saying? Because I was always a guy that said, well, shit, Doc did that move. I mean, yeah, Mike did a little. It might look a little sexier, you know what I'm saying? Because he was an inch and a half shorter. It might look, but Doc did that same thing. You know what I mean? I was that kind of guy, but as I get older, hey, Jordan was that guy. You know what I mean? Even LeBron doesn't have, he's got a drive, but he doesn't have that. And you can see it in certain plays on the game, in certain instances of the game throughout his career. He didn't have that Jordan Kobe mentality. He didn't have it.
I think Brian might take plays off sometimes, where I don't think Jordan and Kobe took any plays off.
Never. Never. So let's talk about some.
Hold on, Swan, you got anything on Jordan?
Oh, yeah.
Man, I agree with y'all wholeheartedly, but like y'all said, Jordan, it was just his will to win to me. Yeah, and one thing about it, you can always depend on him in the fourth quarter. When the game was on the line, you know he was gonna come through. It was no doubt. You know what I mean? It was no doubt. And then right behind him, you know, like you say, was Miss Miyagi and Danielson. You know, he mirrored his game from the best. And then like LeBron, in his era, he is the greatest. But I guess what it is, they come up in this AAU era where everybody is friends, and they don't play against everybody since they was kids. So they don't feel like okay, we're friends off the court, but on the court, I'm gonna try to kill you. They don't have that mentality. It's just a different era, you know.
Yeah, very few.
Yeah. I can count like 6 of them to do. Ja got it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He got it. I'm cool with you, but I'm gonna get you on the court. I think Jaylen Brown got it. No, Jimmy Butler got it.
Oh yeah. He's a different like they said, chip off the old block. But other than that, I don't know. But if we're gonna talk about the two guards, it's crazy because now I'm going back to all the mid-range players. See, I'm going back to all the Rip Hamiltons, the Ray Allens that had Kerry Kittles. They mid-range was deadly.
That was a good one. That was a good one.
Allen Houston.
Yeah, Allen Houston. Ray Allen, Reggie.
So, we was definitely a fan of Allen Houston around these parts. Yeah, that Kerry Kittles was a good one because I played with the Nets on live with Kerry Kittles.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? And then I got one that I enjoyed watching play, but I think he screwed himself. Sprewell. Sprewell's a really good two guard.
Hey man, the boings on that dude. Oh, he was nice. He was nice. And I was talking to Mike here earlier about one. I wish I would have been able to see his career blossom was Drazen Petrovic. Because he was killing. He was a beast in the what was that, late 80s?
Listen, Mike and I got to see Drazen. We got to watch Drazen. Drazen was a straight hooper. He can get it. He got buckets. He was the prototype of the new European player. You know what I mean? He gave you that because he had some good size to him. He had that Euro step that didn't nobody really know what it was just yet. It wasn't to the eccentricness of it is now, but he had that move already. So Drazen was a straight killer.
Knockdown shooter. Just knockdown shooter.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I still think that was a hit, though. I don't care what you say. There was no accident.
That car accident.
Yeah, that was just as clear as a hit as Princess Diana was.
Yeah.
I believe so myself.
All right, I got a name I want to throw out is T-Mac. How we feeling about T-Mac? I feel like he's misunderstood. I think people really forget how much when he first came into the league, he was dominating. And in them first couple years in Orlando, dominating. And the injuries came, and he kind of got forgotten about. What are y'all thoughts on T-Mac?
I think T-Mac, you look at society's perspective, when you're not around for a very long time and you don't win, then I think
hold a certain standard of
for a long period of time, I think you kind of get pushed to the wayside. But if you look at T-Mac as far as what he did for the game, as far as that position, number one, he was one of the bigger two guards to emerge. And when you say two guards, I think, Swan said is like before it was come off curl screens and stagger screens and you didn't dribble much. He put the ball on the deck and he could move on the deck, so he was lethal. He was kind of Penny was the point. T-Mac took Penny's game and slid over to the two. And he was rough. He was trouble. He was trouble for guys that were playing that position because he was so tall, he was athletic, and he could just flat out score. So I give T-Mac his roses. I just still think, when you're looking at the group of two guards, his longevity kind of pushes him back a tad bit. But, where do you put him? Do you put him in the top 10? You could, but you have to put him in a certain era. You know what I mean? And I think in his era of basketball, he was a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, I didn't think he got a full T-Mac when he got to Houston. You know what I mean? He was still, I think he was just a shell. I mean, you got that first good year with him and Yao, but I think after that, it wasn't the same. You know what I mean? It wasn't that young Toronto electrifying in the air, learning under his, by the way, who we should talk about too, is Vince Carter. You know what I'm saying? So how his game developed as the two guard, but T-Mac he was tall. He could handle the ball. He could shoot from distance. He was one of those guys who was shooting a step or two beyond where normal three-pointers were shooting from. We speak about Jordan again. We saw highlights of him in Carolina where he was putting up 30 points and there was no three-point line. And he was killing the mid-range. You know what I'm saying? You got to look at these guys. I'm trying to think like Benny Microwave. You know what I'm saying? Or Joe Dumars, you know what I mean? Guys like that, you know what I mean, that can flat out score the ball. And I think one piece we're missing on the two guard is the defensive side of it.
Mm-hmm. That'll cut your list a little short. To me, I think it'll cut your list short if you start talking about, okay, your two-way guys. Ooh. Guys that were on the all defensive team, or they were defensive player of the year, or if you add that component into it, then you rephrase that question, and you gotta look down, and a lot of guys don't make that list.
Nah. Hey, I got some trivia for you. Kobe is the only player to have 10 plus first team all defense and not win defensive player of the year.
Yeah, I think he came up in an era where the bigs always got defensive player of the year.
I think Mike was, Mike, and then.
And I feel like this year wasn't green hair Boston, wasn't he the first guard to get it? Yeah,
since Gary Payton.
Yeah, so
it's been a while.
That is
definitely. I think that was questionable, man. I think that was a questionable defensive player of the year.
Yeah,
I think there were some other guys that you could probably say had defensively impacted the game a little bit more, but
I mean, if he was going with a guard, I chose Phoenix. What was it, Malik? What was it? I forgot.
Bridges.
Yeah, Mikal Bridges. Yeah, that's who I went for. Taller, he was a couple inches taller, played 2 or 3 more positions consistently, but they like the little guy with green hair.
But that's a testament of how soft the league done got, because he done got notarized and got money a deal off of just being tough.
Yeah,
you just think, Mark, that's a skill now. If you tough, that's a skill set in the NBA now. Being tough. So that's why they went
tough though.
They
ain't tough though. They ain't Charles Oakley tough.
But I mean,
but that's because they know nowadays they're not gonna fight.
There you go.
Back in the day, they was fighting. So if you was talking, there was a great chance that you was getting it in. So you better be tough, and you better be ready to do it. Now I feel like green hair got a little of that Ron in him, so I feel like he would try him. He probably get beat down, but I feel like he wouldn't back away.
Hey man, Meta World Peace got his stuff together, dog.
Now, yeah, he got his skills regimented, all that. But I'm still upset because he took my Pacers. That was our year. That was our championship year, and he blew it over a cup of beer, laying on the scorer's table.
I
Yeah.
just love it how Store just thinks that he's not gonna react the same way somebody hit him with an open face can of beer.
I forgot stuff. Y'all diehard Pacers fans.
Yeah, I'm definitely diehard Pacer fan. That's my number one team. Even though I like players, like I love Steph and them and Golden State because I love the type of game they play. I feel they're the closest thing since the Magic Johnson Showtime, which is when I definitely fell in love with the game and just the artistry of it and with the skill set to make plays and to make it look appealing to fans. Like that just that draws to me. So that's another reason why I like Golden State because of their style of play.
I'm a Pacers fan by default, man. I'm a Lakers fan by heart. I'm anywhere I go, man. I'm a Laker guy, man. But the Pacers is home, so if they winning, I'm rolling. If they losing, I'm kind of like, man, yeah, I'm with them, kind of. But
Perfect sums up. That sums it up perfect for me. That's right on the spot. Yeah, I'll cheer when they all right, and I'm sure gonna talk about it when they fuck it up. So let's talk about some two guards that never really got they pump because there was somebody in their class or in their era a little better. Like Jordan killed a lot of two guards career or legacy. Like Drexler, I think he would have been a lot better, would have got a lot more pump, maybe won. Well, he did win with Houston, but when Mike was out, you know what I'm saying? But, Drexler's one of those guys, I think he gets a little bit, but I don't think he got all that he should have because Mike was playing at the same position and he did the same type of things that Mike did. It just wasn't as pretty.
Yeah, it wasn't as good. I feel the same about Clyde Drexler. He came from that Houston 5 Slamma Jamma. He definitely had hang time. You see some of his dunks. He's got the legs curled up just like Mike from the free throw line. He had the length. He just, for whatever reason, I feel like the jumper came a little bit at the end, but I felt like it was always a work kind of in progress. I feel like it was either he was on or off. Defensively, though, I feel like he was a great defensive player as well.
But everybody had to play two ways back then, or you weren't playing. This two-way player, that's some new shit.
Wasn't no zone defense.
Yeah, you had to play D. And even when we played zone in high school and in college, if you weren't playing no defense, bro, you weren't getting on the floor. You had to play some defense. Like nowadays, there's cats that's like, dude, have you ever been in a defensive stance?
Yeah.
Speaking of that, just a side note, Mike, you're a coach, man. How much emphasis do you have to put on defensive skill sets with these guys coming in, especially in this offensively driven AAU culture?
So, hold on. To top that, is it hard to get them to commit? Is it a challenge to get them to commit to defense?
Yes. And the reason why it's so challenging is because basketball now is about entertainment. If you look at NBA scores on any given night, the two combined scores could be almost 300 points. You took away, I think Swarn said it earlier, said, man, in the 80s, it was a lot of hand checking, right? And the reason why they took hand checking away in the 80s and the 90s because they wanted to see Mike score. He was the face of the league. Nowadays, it's I go to a trainer and all I do all day is work on my one-on-one moves, right? But for me, I'm cut from the cloth of the 80s and 90s. The only way that you can play here is you got to defend. Kids come in and say, they send me highlight tape, right? I look at the kid's highlight tape, and he's a point guard, and I say, hey, coach, you showing me that he's the point guard and all he does is score. You don't show me any on-ball defense. blah, 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 blah. And I tell kids when I recruit them, what position do you feel comfortable at? Oh, coach, I feel comfortable at the 2. Can you guard a 2? Can you defend a 1? Can you defend a 3? If your answer is no, then unfortunately it's going to be hard for you to play here, because I know when kids leave me in junior college, when you go to whatever school you're going to, they got a 24, 25-year-old kid. They're already scoring. Can you defend? Can you defend? And that's one thing, in junior college, I think we've all been in that situation where it's fast. People want to score. How do you win those games? Stop them from scoring. And so we put a premium on it. It's really hard though, because, I'm getting a kid that's 18 years old that's been allowed to do some things for 4 years. Now I got to deprogram them and reprogram them in less than a year's time. They fight it sometimes. And unfortunately, when you fight it, you got to sit for a little while until it becomes.
Till you figure it out.
Well, until it becomes habit. You're just recreating another habit. So the answer to your question in the long term is it gets difficult. But the good thing for me this year is I have all freshmen last year. I played with all freshmen last year. Not the COVID freshmen. I'm talking about freshmen straight out of high school. So I took them through the fire. I made practices miserable defensively. We talked about, how we're going to, run certain defensive schemes. I didn't change it because of the scout. I said, we're going to be good at these things. So now my freshman that's coming in, now my sophomores to tell them, hey, listen, before you get here, just understand we're doing this for the first 2-3 weeks. So it is hard though, man, because they want to score. That's all they want to do is score. And don't get me wrong, I'll score.
Right.
Score the ball. I don't give a damn. You can score 80, 90 points. Just don't let them get in the 70s. You know what I mean? And if we can figure that out, then I think we'll be a pretty good damn team, and their mindset will change. So defense is hard, man. It's hard. It's getting harder.
I just feel like understanding angles sometimes is that difficult to teach.
I teach angles. I teach fast break angles. I teach containment. We kind of get a little bit, kind of not to get too technical, but the game is about, can you defend can you guard your yard? So we work on that to the point where, we're playing old school full court 1-on-1. Where you got to guard somebody attacking downhill, putting them in a situation where it seems impossible. The angles are big. More than anything is just the space that you have to be able to give guys. Guys are, they're skillful with that basketball, man. They're skillful with that basketball. And if you can make them dribble 3 or 4 times in our system, that we feel like we won that possession. Because now we can get set. Now if a guy just beats you off of one dribble move, we're in trouble. Right. We're in trouble, man.
So let's I know Mike said something a little bit ago. We was talking about defining the difference of the 2 guard, the shooting guard. Like you got the 2 guard, you got your combo guard, you got your shooting guard, all the same position. So I tend to say your shooting guards back in the day was more your white guys. Because all those 2 guards that we just named were all brothers. Like we didn't give the guys that could shoot the ball, except for Drazen. You know what I'm saying? We didn't talk about Stojakovic or Hornacek or guys of that nature. Like we're really gonna talk about the great white boy until next episode. We talk about Larry because he's different. But, I think the position kind of is defined in regions of where you grow up. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody on the East Coast, everything is slashing. Everything is to the bucket. You know what I'm saying? Us Indiana Midwest kids, all of our positions are real rounded. That's why it's very hard to define a kid from Indiana because they can do it all because we've always done it all. We grow up shooting the ball in the snow. We grow up shooting the ball in the rain. You know what I mean? We do all that carpet. So I think regional has a lot to do with how your positions are developed as well. You know what I mean? Does anybody disagree with that?
No, I definitely agree. I coached in Atlanta for 3 years, and when I was in Atlanta, I understood what the SEC was about. It was about athleticism. I am talking about, I have never seen a group of young athletes as athletic as they were. And I understood why Georgia, Florida, Alabama, why they fly around like they do, right? Because they're just athletic. You look at the West Coast guys, they about the showtime. They grew up in the Lakers era, and they grew up in, free culture, you know what I'm saying? And that was how they played. You talk about, region areas, you talk about white guys that were really good two guards. Chris Mullin, absolutely great two guard. Great two guard.
Best left-hand shooter in the league ever.
He was smart. You look at, I guess you could put White Chocolate as a point guard.
Yeah, we talked about Jason Williams. Yeah, we did.
Yeah. So, you just, the region, I've been around basketball for so long, I can tell where a guy's from by the way he play.
What do you say, Swarn? How was the South and coming up two guard and how it changed?
Well, for a fact that back then when we was coming through, basketball coming down south, it really wasn't known for basketball. We was like football. Everything was football. So we had it. So every time when I had to play somebody from another region, it seemed like I had to prove myself that, hey, we can play ball down here too. You know what I mean?
That's where you from? I'm sorry, where you from?
I'm from Fort Worth, Texas.
Okay.
Yeah.
I had a teammate from Texas, from Longview.
Yeah, from that's East Texas. Yeah, East Texas from Longview, huh? Yeah, so it's just it's different because Texas so big. I can go play against a dude from Dallas and know he from Dallas from how he played. And then I can go down to Houston and play a dude from Houston and know how it's just different styles of balls in different cities. But I did for a fact that, like you said, East Coast, they was rocking and rolling with that ball. They're gonna get to the hole. West Coast,
they like all that.
They give you all that, man.
And I would say kids from Indiana, and I would say, Storm, you were blessed to have that many Indiana kids from on your team. Like where I played at, I was down there. I played at Paris, by the way.
Yeah, he played at Paris.
Yeah, I played at Paris. I came out at I came out in 93. I came out in 95 at Paris.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we was the first team that won anything for like 30 years there. Like they were terrible when we got there.
And they played Grayson too, Swarn.
Yeah.
So I try to remind them. If you don't remember, Swarn, that was our first game.
Yeah.
When I was there. I hit that layup at the last second. And we won that game. I try to tell Dame about that every time I get.
Yeah.
That we beat Paris.
I was already gone. We got a picture on the wall. You know what I'm saying? You walk up the steps to the common area. Bam, there's me. No, but we kids from Indiana, we have this air. Like, oh, you from Indiana? Y'all supposed to be able to do this. Like, I know Mike probably felt it going out towards Illinois to play. And Storm down in Texas, it's like we really felt that we had to, we can ball. You know what I'm saying? Like, but Texas was cool though. They had some hoopers and some athletes. So yeah,
Texas
football was God down there.
Texas Junior College was on a totally different level.
Yeah,
that was. You got to think. Prior to me coming in JUCO 92, 94, you had LJ, who was murdering. And that was when I didn't even know about junior college until he went to UNLV. I didn't know none. I was like, okay, D1, that's all I know. Yep. And then here comes LJ, and he's like, well, he came out of Odessa Junior College. And I'm like, wait a minute, what's junior college? And when he kind of, for me, he put on for JUCO.
Yeah.
And I was like, now, wait a minute, now what's going on? And my coach that was here at Glen Oaks, where I'm currently coaching at now, he came from Midland.
Yep.
He told me, he said, hey,
West Texas.
He said, listen, you pretty good, man. But down there, it's a whole team of you with size, athleticism, strength. And then, as I got, you look at back then, they didn't have a lot of ratings. It was Street and Smith back then. You look in the magazines and they had the little JUCO section, and you start seeing cats coming out of that Texas area going to the Big 12, going to the SEC, Big 10. It was rough, man.
Came out of Trinity Valley down there in Texas. You had Sam Cassell came out of San Jacinto, out in Houston.
You had Elliot Hatcher. They came out of Indianapolis and went to Kansas State.
Oh, you remember Stevie Franchise?
Yeah. Sean Kemp was down there in Trinity Valley with Nick Van Elk, so he just never played.
Yeah.
But there were some killers. There were some killers in Texas, boy. So, all right. Okay, we got a few ticks left, so let's get into it. Swan, we're going to start with you. What's your top 5 shooting guard? I guess top 4, because everybody knows Jordan's on everybody's list.
Okay, we know Jordan and Kobe, right?
Okay.
Yeah, we can even extend that. Jordan and Kobe be my 1, 2. We can
off the top.
Yeah.
I'll free up my 1 and 2. Then I have to go with y'all hometown favorite man. Man, Reggie Miller was cold, man. I hate to say it, but man, Reggie gonna put that thing in the hole, man. I'm talking about.
The thing about Kobe or Reggie was he was the guard back when they just ran off screens a lot. He didn't take it to the hole a whole bunch. It was all Dale Davis, Rick Smits, Antonio Davis, setting screens, Mark Jackson, Vern Fleming, Hoover. I mean, I can run down all them. And it's just a matter of getting him the ball. So,
but
that was the type. But that's how he got all his points. I would say probably 95 of his points was off assists, and not him just taking it to the bucket.
Yeah, he didn't have a boy.
I mean, think about it. You know how hard it is to guard him? He's constantly moving. All night you got to worry about him. You can't get him an inch because he gonna burn you. So you just imagine your assignment for that night. You got to go at Reggie Miller.
Yeah, I'm shitty. Eat bananas.
Be ready.
Right, you better
have the electrolytes you do now. You have all these special Gatorades,
the hyperbaric chambers, and
all right. So who you got at number 4?
I gotta go with Ray. I like Ray. I like Ray Allen game. When he first came into the league, when he was a slasher, he gonna dunk you and do what he had.
Bucks.
Yeah, with the Bucks, and then his game matured as he got older because he understood his legs. If I want to sustain it.
Not the Bucks. It would have been Seattle when he first came in, right?
Yeah. Seattle.
Yeah, Seattle. He talking about Devin Mason, but he was with the Bucks too, though. But
he was with both. He was with both.
Yeah, he was with Seattle first.
Yeah,
and went to Milwaukee.
Then he went to Milwaukee. Yeah, I like Ray. I mean, I used to like old Ray game, man, and how he evolved. Oh yeah, and then I'm gonna trip y'all out, just like an honorable mention. I always like his game, but I don't know what happened to him. Y'all remember old Eddie Jones?
Yes,
Lakers.
I'm gonna tell you exactly what happened to Eddie Jones. Kobe Bryant. Hey, that's exactly what happened to Eddie Jones.
Temple, man. Temple. We came out of Temple.
I mean, I used to like games. I used to just like Eddie Jones' game, man, for some reason.
Hey, Eddie Jones could ball though, man. He could ball.
And he was two-way. He was two-way too.
Yeah, he was gonna go two-way. Yes. So that I guess that's
part of that bad Laker team with him, Nick Van Exel, Eldon Campbell, Sedale.
Yeah, that was after Worthy and Magic left, and Vlade was supposed to be the one.
Some squares on the plane.
It's European, son.
Yeah.
Hey, that's a hell of a group, though. I like that group. I like that group. Mike, let's see your group.
Y'all got Mike and Kobe. My third two guard, I'm gonna go with AI, man. AI had Eric Snow. He created an offense, the Iverson cut. He created, a whole set of offensive, plays. And the reason why I like AI, man, he just had a heart. You wasn't gonna deny him. He was small. Shit, he'd dunk you every now and again. Hell, he had a move that was feared in the world. That crossover. I like his charisma. I really like the point when he said, man, listen, how can you talk about practice and I give you 120% when I play? Now I'm not a fan of you not going to practice, but I don't think you should say that. Now if he got out there, he gave you a half effort, that's something you can talk about. See, that's 1, 2, 3. What's that? 3?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go with Reg. I'm gonna work Reg. Reg made it a long night for you. Coming off, and then my fifth. I'm gonna have to go against the grain. I know we talked about it. I'm going with Steph. I think Steph is a 2 guard. I think because when you look at what he does and how they play, he is not the initiator of the offense on that team. It's Draymond, right? I'm kind of the era of, like Swan said, I'm in the era of the guy who put it on the ground. That's my era. Like, yo, I can catch and shoot, but I got this whip wop too. When I feel like getting you up off of me a little bit where I can score. There's a lot of honorable mentions, but I'm gonna go with those 5, man.
Okay. Can I say one thing?
Go ahead.
Yeah, Jay, real quick. So are we putting AI as a point, or are we putting him as a 2? Because I thought he was the one and Eric Snow out guard.
I'm gonna put him at the 2 just because
how he scored the ball. I know what you said.
Yeah, the way they offense.
Yeah, I feel like Snow had the ball. When AI had it, it was more transition. When it was to set up a play, I feel like it was Eric Snow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was. I think it was a different. I mean, they was different because you couldn't tell who was what. You know what I'm saying?
Well, Eric Snow
kind of played because
Eric Snow can't score.
So he was like putting everybody to
Eric Snow can't score, so ain't no blurred lines there. Hey man, Eric knew he came down. His job was let Iverson come out them 2 staggers, give it to him, let him go. And again, with those 2, you couldn't go wrong defensively because AI, like Swan said, he's a 2-way guy. AI was hellified off ball. He was an off-ball defender that would shoot those gaps and cause problems. Definitely that.
All right,
I'm
so
quickly run down.
Hold on, real quick, Storm. Uncle Mark chimed in. He threw us his top 5 guards, shooting guards. Maybe there you go. He's got Reggie, Ray, Dale Ellis. No,
Yeah,
World Be Free, like okay, you old ass. Love you, Uncle Mark. And George Gervin, he said excluding Brian and Jordan. George Man Ice Gervin.
Yeah. We talked about World Be Free on the low. Not really talked about, kind of lost in history. He put up points, man. He put up buckets. It was one of those things where I don't know how long it was sustained, but he did put up buckets. My top 5 running up against the clock. My top 5, obviously, Michael, Kobe. I do have Reggie. After that, I do have Clyde Drexler. After that, I am rolling with Ray Allen Shuttlesworth because I feel like mid-range shooting is that being able to score all fastest 3 mid-range layup dunk is a part of it. So those are mine.
Yeah, excluding Kobe and Jordan, my favorites, I got Reg, I have Spreewell, and I have, I guess is how you define it. You know what I mean? Yeah, I got Paul George. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I think he plays better the 2 than he does the 3. I like PG. You know what I'm saying? I'm a PG guy.
Okay.
But also talking about him on the next episode with the 3 Scoop, because I think that's
I'm gonna talk about exclusively on the 3s. But that just goes to how fun it is to talk about and how interchangeable these positions are.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So, man, it was great to have you guys on. You guys are now officially a member of the panel. So you are always welcome to be on the show whenever you want to. You see us popping on, hit one of us up. We can send you the link whenever. Mike, we'd love to do some things with you being a coach. We'd like to get some stuff exclusive with you on your program. That'll be cool. But great for you guys to hang out. I'm glad you had fun and hope to see you guys again on the show again.
Man, I appreciate it, man. And anytime you need me, you know, once September starts, you know, it gets kind of hard. But, you know, on the weekends, I love to, you know, contribute to what y'all doing, man. I'm proud of y'all, man. Y'all my young bulls. So, you know, I appreciate
well, me definitely. Dame is more your age, but I'm the younger. I'm the younger.
Yeah, but you know, it's good to see y'all, you know, kind of having good content. I know podcasts are becoming popular, and you know, it's just good, healthy conversation. So I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, anytime you guys want to come on, promote something, you know, get with Dame, and you know, they got different outlets and things. If you guys are trying to get some stuff out there, Sworn, you got anything going on you want to put out there?
No, man. I appreciate y'all having me, man. I'm available whenever, and man, y'all doing a good thing, man. Keep it up.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, I'd like to get some of my Texas boys from school on there. That'd be a good combo. So,
hey, I almost had Med on, Sworn. Last week, if we'd have went on, I'd have had Med on here, and for you, Mikey, I'd have had GB on here. So, we definitely gonna find time to get everybody together. I feel like that'd be a great show.
Yeah, no doubt, man.
Yes, sir. So, thanks everybody for joining in. Again, this is the State of Basketball, the Under the Basketboard discussion series. Appreciate y'all hanging out. You can catch all of our syndicated shows on our YouTube channel. Just pop over there, hit the link, and we'll get you everything. Subscribe and take you right to the website. See everything we're doing. If you're ever looking for any internet promotions, any that advertisement, voiceovers, anything of that nature, hit us up on the website. We'll get you taken care of. For everybody here on the panel, myself, Big Storm, we outie.
Peace.
Peace.